What is up? It is another episode of Dynasty Pylon. Mark, you're back. What's up, dude?
I am. How's it going?
So explain what happened to you last week in your little room of caveness of being sick.
Not much. It hurt to move most of the time.
Right. So if you listen last week, Mark is fully vaccinated.
I am.
So, yeah. Congrats, man.
Thank you.
Yep. You tell me the crap you were going through, so I am now halfway vaccinated. So
Wait till you get your second one, man.
Oh, dude, I'm like dreading that so hard. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about that. I mean, nothing really put me on my ass before until I got my first vaccine. Usually, and I don't get sick, so
yeah.
It was really interesting when that happened. I called you. You started laughing at me, telling me, "Oh, you'll be fine. No, nothing to worry about." Yeah, dude, I was a little worried.
Huh?
So yeah. So other than that, so while you were in your room, what was your family doing?
Oh, they were all partying it up in Vegas.
Exactly. I mean, so
get a vaccine and go to Vegas. Who doesn't want to do that?
Funny thing is, I happen to be up there as well during that time. So, I'm like, Mark's here. I'm here. We're basically, well, I'm half vaccinated, so I don't know if that was good thing or bad thing, but it was actually not bad. Everything was distanced. Everything was it was masked up everywhere, no matter where you went. So,
that was good. That was good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mask required everywhere.
Yeah, I can't say the same about Fremont, but
yeah, I was gonna say the only place where I had any anxiety was Fremont Street. That place was nuts.
So yeah. Tank says they got extra strong ones out in Arizona. Yeah, dude, it was nuts. So yeah, Fremont, it was really crazy. I did not feel comfortable. We were there, your family was there, and then we went upstairs to a little secluded place not a lot of people were at. We took some Irish car bombs, right?
Yep.
And then I think that
video proof.
Yes, we do. I don't have that on me now.
No, I know, but I'm just saying.
At that point, you were gone. Mark was gone because I'm sitting there, and then Mark goes, "Hey, what's that over there?" And I'm like, well, "What do you mean? It's a bunch of TVs with sports. It looks like a bar. It's a bar with a bunch of sports." I'm drinking, and I look up at him like, "You mean a sports bar?" Yeah, that thing. So we're like, all right, well, we moseyed over there, and I think we took more Irish car bumps. So, which probably wasn't the smartest thing to do, but hey,
it was fun.
Yeah. So we weren't driving, so it was fun. It was good. That was actually the first time I saw you in a while, besides being outside your house, passing things at your front door. So
and on video.
Yeah. So not too bad. But we're back. So lately we've been talking about rookies. If anybody's been talking about rookies, we've been talking about literally. I think I had myself a AFC mock draft 2 weeks before that.
Tomorrow's
I had an NFC mock draft, and then you and I had a dynasty mock draft of just rookies, which was a 4-round draft. So that was pretty interesting to see. We stole each other's guys. I stole some of the guys. You stole some of mine, but it was fun. Again, it was mock draft. So dynasty, basically, you just, you keep your guys, and it's for the foreseeable future. But today we're going to mellow it down. Everyone's excited for what is the big event tomorrow, Mark.
Tomorrow's the NFL draft.
Yes.
We'll finally see who's going where.
What was that?
So we'll finally see who's going where. I mean, obviously the first 2 picks are locks, but after that, anyone's guess.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
There's Aaron.
Oh yeah, Mark Lar.
So yeah, dude. The NFL draft, everyone should be excited. If you're a dynasty player, this is a big day.
Yeah.
Depending on where you are on your dynasty leagues, you will determine on where you could plan on drafting. If you're the 101, the 103, even the 112. I mean, who knows? Wherever I myself is the 108, you are at the 105, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah,
105.
football's all around, man. So yeah. So I am in a position where I have to wait to see what's available. There's definitely some great talent coming out tomorrow. I cannot wait for that. But there is a big move that happened probably a couple of hours ago, man. What is that? What is it, Mark? The trade that just happened.
The one for the Washington football team or the Chiefs?
The Chiefs and the QB involvement.
Chiefs and the Ravens.
What?
Talking about the... Oh, no, you're talking about the Panthers and the Broncos.
I'll let you think about that one and embarrass yourself a little bit there.
Panthers and Broncos.
We only talked about it, but okay.
Panthers and Broncos.
I'll let you have your own little lonesome time to reflect on what you just...
Panthers and Broncos. Teddy Bridgewater is now a Bronco. You can come back now, Mark.
Well, I mean, what does that mean, though? Like, what does that mean for these players? Like, what does it mean?
It could definitely have... Well, it definitely means Sam Darnold's the QB1 in Carolina. Okay. I don't even know who else they have on their roster.
I mean, yeah, but
which I think was
Bridgewater is going to the Broncos.
A lot of people are speculating he'll be the starting quarterback, so they'll either trade down or not go quarterback. But I've seen it go the other way too, where they still get a young guy to sit behind. But if you get like Trey Lance, who needs a couple years, it's kind of a perfect situation where you can put Teddy out there, Trey Lance sits behind him, learns, then he can take over.
Right. So, I mean, and this affects the whole draft too. I mean,
Aaron said that means Broncos receivers are still worthless.
But I mean, if you ask me, it's still kind of an upgrade. In my eyes, I think it's still an upgrade.
It's definitely an upgrade.
I definitely would trust Teddy over Locke any day. But yeah, that's just my opinion. But anyway, hey, it is what it is.
I think Teddy Bridgewater is very underrated.
Oh, definitely, man.
He never seems to get, like, as soon as he gets somewhere, he'll do something and it's gone. Like, oh, we're moving on. Bye.
Yeah, but he's that safe blanket, though. Like, he's definitely that guy you're okay with to have. You're okay with to keep him on your roster as even a backup. I mean, obviously, he started all last season, and then now he potentially is going to start again. This definitely changes how rumor speculations of them moving up to the 4th with the Falcons, but
I don't think they move up anymore. But I think if Trey Lance I don't see why Fields are there. But if Trey Lance or Justin Fields are there, I think they take him.
Right. I mean, in my opinion, I think like a lot of people are saying Mac Jones will go to the 49ers, but then when you mentioned Justin Fields, I would love for him to go to the 49ers. I actually have a wager on that. So, but I mean, that's just wishful thinking, man. But yeah, so today we're going to be talking about just fantasy football, what it is. And like for those who are watching on Facebook, some of you may or like even on YouTube. But if you may or may not know what fantasy football is basically you pick your draft your team. We're doing a standard league draft today. So it's basic. I mean, I know we do Dynasty and IDP, but today we're just going to do a draft before the rookie draft. And then we're going to reflect on this later in the year, towards the end of July, just before everyone starts their actual drafts themselves, because this is the time where people start hitting up each other. Hey, are you going to be in our league, or are you going to be in that league? I'm still re-upping. This is that time where people start talking. Why? Because of the rookie draft tomorrow. That's going to amp it all up. So right now, the rookies are coming in. You're going to start determining on where you see potential landing spots for these rookies, and it's going to change how fantasy outlook and the outliers of everything from these teams are. So what is a fantasy football team is? It basically is you choose your certain players and you basically fight for the whole year, 16 to 18 weeks now, 17 weeks. You'll do a fantasy football, but we'll have 18 weeks to watch unless you do a 18-week fantasy football
Which
league.
is just ludicrous.
Right. You should never do the last week.
Never do
today
that.
we're doing do's and don'ts, and that is a number one.
Yeah, that is definitely a don't.
I mean, if you go the 18 weeks, which is, it used to be 17, but now 2021 is now going to 18 weeks. So if you do 18 weeks, I think it's like Mark said, it's ludicrous. It really is, like, because people sit down, like the owners, the coaches, they're like, all right, well, we're already in the playoffs. I'm not going to put my guys in to potentially get hurt on the last week or two if we already made playoffs. There's
Can you imagine just getting to the championship game and you're like, oh, 3/4 of my team not playing.
Right, because they already made the playoffs, so there's no point.
And you're just like, all right, cool.
So, yeah. So, I mean,
ludicrous.
Right now we're just doing a standard league. And as you draft your teams, you got to work out for certain things. I myself will do all the don'ts. So do as I say, not as I do, because I will be drafting the most craziest team ever, as the rest of you.
Picker first round.
Well, I'll do the most common rookie mistakes, things that typical most like newbies do. So I'll try to do that. As much as that's going to irk me a little bit, I just, we'll see how that goes. But
go against your gut, Martin. Go against your gut.
I know. I'm going to try. I'm going to try and want to draft certain players, and I'm going to leave good players out there. But it's a mock draft, so this is what it's for. This is the learning curve. This is that time where everyone starts talking about fantasy football. And so with that being said, fantasy football is basically, like I said, you draft your guys, you set with that team, determining on how well they do will accumulate how many points you get against your opponent. Now, it's all points based, just like a regular team. It's first head to head weekly combats, I guess, or would you say versus your opponent, your team, whatever, and basically you see who has the higher score overall. And then just like the regular team, you get one win, a loss, and you just adds up to whoever has the most wins. You end up in the playoffs. But we'll get that started on. We're using Sleeper. If you listen to any of our past podcasts, we've always done Sleeper. We tend to like it. Sleeper is actually pretty easy. It's informative. But yeah. So I have a wheel. We have two of our guys who's happened to be in our league. We have David and Aaron off air, but they will be joining us in the draft. So right now I will determine on where they are at. So let's get it started. Mark, you good?
Yep.
Aaron, David, hope you're good. Let's get this started. So
number one.
We'll see, man. So who's going first right now? So first one is
me.
There you go.
All right, let's get it out of the way.
So let's do that. Now I have, where do you land now?
All right, come on, number one.
Let's see. So we'll do this. I got separate windows here, so pardon the
fun fact. I've never had the first pick in any fantasy draft.
Ever? Wow.
Ever.
That's impressive, dude.
Yeah.
My actually first one was last season.
I was gonna say you just got yours, yeah.
I did, yes. And I'm trying to figure out which one it is because it's under the same thing, and I keep clicking on the wrong one. So, all right. So right now we'll have you, and I keep picking the wrong one. I should have picked two separate applications. So,
all good.
There we go. All right. So,
all
Mark,
right.
where are you at?
Where am I going? Huh?
Dude, look at that.
We didn't put it up on the screen.
Oh,
so no
man.
No one knows. Oh, hey. I got the first.
Well, there it is. I saw it, but hey.
I know. Like, you're like, all right, Mark, where are you at? And I'm like, right here.
Figures.
What's happening?
Right, so we'll get rid of that one.
Here we go. I got the first. All right.
All right. So I just sent the invite to you on that one. So let's see.
Oh, got it. Boom. Playing my first round. Although it's a snake draft, so first.
It is a snake. So typically most drafts are snakes.
Yep.
And usually some are usually about 10 leagues, 12 leagues. Really depends on how you run it.
I mean teams?
Yeah, 10. Isn't that what I said?
You said leagues.
Or 10-man leagues is what I meant to say.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So, all right. So next one. What do we got? Aaron down there saying it was rigged. No, not at all. Collusion. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, just because I didn't air it. Give me a second. Man.
League reference.
Yeah. All right. So can you see this one?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Oh, we got Martin.
All right.
It's
so
going to be off screen and you're going to get 2.
All right. So I'll be hiding that choice here. Oh my gosh. Let's hope I don't do that again. I should have went with a separate application. I use the same one. So when I'm clicking on the,
it just gives you the name and the same.
Yeah. So you see the numbers right this time, right?
Yeah.
No, you don't. Now you do.
Yep. There we go. All right.
Okay. All right. So where am I going to go? Okay. 9. I will claim the 9th spot. There we go. And then
2 guys left.
Yes, that will be either David or Aaron, and we will see what happens where they go. Getting the hang of this now. I know which one I'm clicking on now, right? So
That's good.
Yes. Yeah, so we got Aaron and David, and let me hold on. There we go. All right. So Aaron and David. Let's see who picks next. Looks like it's David. Okay. All right. So David's next. And we will go with the last pick of here. I'm not even going to change screens after that. I'm just going to leave it just to show who's next after that. So I'm going to go for David. Obviously, Aaron's next. So, David.
You're not on. It's not on.
Oh, my God. Are you kidding me right now?
There you go. He got 5.
I got Jesus. All right. So
just leave it up.
Yeah, I'm going to leave it up. All right. So let's see. David. Okay. There we are. All right. So, David, I just sent you the invite. It's on Sleeper app. If you're listening right now, it should be there. Now, Aaron's last. Do I have it up? Yes, I have it up. Awesome. All right. So let's get Aaron in here. David, you're at 5. And this is for Aaron.
3.
At 3.
Ooh.
All right. So you got David at 5, Aaron at 3, myself at 9, and yeah. So we all good? So David should be coming in here soon. So David at 5, Aaron at 3. Let me know if you guys can't get in. But yeah, so basically we're gonna do a 12 league team roster, a 12 team roster. with 6 bench, 1 QB, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, a tight end, and a flex. So let me know when you guys get in. Did you guys get in?
Nope.
I don't see it either.
I just see you and me.
It's all right. We'll just wait for them.
Okay.
But in anywho, though, tomorrow draft also.
Yep.
Now, I'm not too sure, but did the trade between Chiefs and Orlando Brown already happen, or was that just kind of
went
so
through
it's
already.
official, right? It went through. Okay, I knew we heard about it. We were talking about it. I wasn't sure if it was going to happen on draft day. We're still waiting on them.
Rubio's in.
David's in. All right, cool. And we're just waiting on Aaron.
Come on, Aaron.
And should be good to go, right?
Well, once Aaron gets in there.
Well, yeah, once Aaron gets in there, but yeah, so that's official. So the other trade you were mentioning, which was your whatever about, which was what was the lineman that you guys went for Washington from Miami?
No, Miami to Washington.
Oh yeah, whatever.
Yeah, we got Eric Flowers, and all we gave up was our 7th round pick, but we also got Miami 7th round pick.
Okay.
And they're paying $6 million of his salary for 2021. So
for just 1 year?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's not too bad.
That helps bolster our offensive line.
Yeah. So
I was also reading back to the Kansas City thing. I didn't know this, but apparently Orlando Brown Jr. requested a trade. Did not know that.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. He
really wanted to be on the left. Yeah, he really wanted to be on the left. He says, "I want to be a left tackle. That gets you the big money, not right tackle." But they already had a left tackle. And then he was like, "I want out."
All right, Aaron. It should be there if you're.
You just gotta log in and then hit claim on 3. Oh yeah, but they also gave up their first. The Chiefs gave up their 1st round pick, but got the Ravens 2nd round pick.
Yeah, and then I think it was
but they gave up a 3rd round pick, but got the Ravens 4th round pick.
Right.
And then another 6th round pick, I believe, in 2022 going to the Ravens. So it was another one of those. Oh, we traded back 2 spots, but we also got, the biggest issue we had going into the offseason and why we lost the Super Bowl. So pretty worth it, I think.
Not bad. All right, Aaron's having issues, so I got someone in the comments.
Oh, they don't want to be on stream? ?
Oh no, I asked them if they want to do that. They're more comfortable. It's fine. Come on. I'm not going to pressure anybody to be online right now.
Here, put the YouTube on.
Yeah. So right now, so he should be coming in. Aaron, I don't know, man. I sent it through. So
no, he's there. He's
there. Okay, cool. I guess I'm just not seeing it on mine.
Yeah, I got him on.
He's on yours though.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, because I'm going to be drafting through the computer. I do not see what is going on, so keep an eye on the comments for me.
I'll keep you informed if it's not on the screen this time too.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. I don't want anybody.
And then the last bit of news before we started: Antonio Brown is officially a Buccaneer, so the boys are all back in town.
On both sides of the ball.
Yeah. 1 year, $6.25 million, $2 million signing.
Nuts. So all right. Yeah. So
they officially just brought everybody back.
Pretty much, man. I mean, it's the first time since, didn't we say this? I mentioned this 1970.
Yeah,
or something like that, right?
That's when they went from 14 to 16.
Yep. So, all right. So here we go. We're using Sleeper. Got 2 guys in there. So again, I will be doing everything you should not be doing. Okay. So if you look at my team, for those who do know how to draft, and for those who have done this, you'll be like, oh my God, what is he doing? His team sucks. Well, that's because I will be doing everything you should not be doing. Do as I say, not as I do.
Okay, and I wish this was a real draft now.
Yeah. All right. So, Mark, go ahead, start it off.
Yeah.
And we will start this mock draft.
Oh, I can definitely tell you who I'm not picking, and that is Barkley, because I picked him last year and he did nothing.
Well, hey, I felt about Christian McCaffrey last year.
Well, I'm taking him this year.
Well, hopefully he's healthy this year.
Hey,
I don't think
played more games than Barkley did. Okay. Barkley had like 1 1/4. Okay.
That's true. That's very true. So with that, I mean, I was in a
look at those
quite dilemma. All right, so my turn. Now, I would go with a running back. That is something you should do because that is very it's a smart thing to do because why?
Yep.
Running backs go off the board
in the face
really quick. So what you probably don't want to do is obviously go for the teams that you are more comfortable with, like your favorite teams. You don't want to load up on one team. You don't want to load up on single players that are just not relevant to this. But last year, I know a lot of people went with Lamar Jackson in the first round. Look how that turned out. Typically, I would not go with the quarterback at the first round. Why? Hence, Lamar Jackson. What did he do for you? He didn't do as stellar as he did the first year. But again, I'm going to go crazy. And like I said, don't do as I say, not as I do.
Oh my God, are you really?
All the hype. Yep. All the hype right now. Why not? Also, another thing is don't go rookies. Okay. But I'm going to go rookie quarterback. I know nothing about. I just think that he's going to do good. So yeah. So who is he throwing to? He's got Chark, Laviska Shenault. So like I said, don't pick guys all on the same team. But since we are in the first round, I'm going to go QB, something you probably shouldn't do, especially Trevor Lawrence. We don't really know how well he is. Yes, he is potentially the truth from what you're saying, but we don't really know that yet. But again, go running back first. I tend to go with running back first because a lot of them are going. As you can see, a lot of them are going. I went quarterback and receiver. For those who went Michael Thomas first round last season, look what happened. This is such a gamble for me right now. Typically, this is kind of in a bit of a dilemma, but this is common rookie mistakes that people do. They just go for their favorite teams.
You need to think Aaron's on auto draft.
You think so?
I think so.
He hasn't said anything to me. Checking the comments. So you'll be drafting like Alfredo does each year. Round 1 Gronk, round 2 a kicker. And wow, you're drafting like Alfredo every cowboy you can. So dude, right now I'm just kind of going with what you shouldn't be doing. So there you go. Patrick Mahomes in the 3rd round.
I know. I'm taking him now.
That's not bad. I mean, for someone that stellar, he's guaranteed that good, why not? But not in the 1st round. No. Maybe not in the 2nd. I typically go 5th or 4th round usually.
It's so weird because every draft I did last year, Mahomes win the 1st round. Everyone.
And I mean it's a risk move, man. All right, so here's why you want to go running back first. Look, this is my best option right now. Joe Mixon. What did he do for us last season? Practically nothing. All these good running backs. This is why you always want to go running back at least 95% of the time. I usually go running back in the 1st or 2nd round because you'll need them. They're the quarterback's best friend. If they're out of the pocket, who do they dump off to? The running back. Then not only do they catch, not only do they rush yards, they get the points. But since I waited to the 3rd round, I'll go with Joe Mixon. And that's not a very good RB1, in my opinion. So since I'm at 9, Who'll go number 2? Or the number 9 at my second pick for the second round pick. So, or the fourth round pick. I'm sorry. So I got a QB. I'm running back. Probably at this point, I'm like, okay, well, do I go kicker? Do I go tight end? Why not? Like, typical rookie mistakes. They just load up their starters at their very first. So they're like, wow, well, I got a QB, I got a running back, I got a receiver. Those are my starters, right? So maybe I need a tight end. Wrong. Get another running back. Get another receiver. But I'm going to go tight end because I see a quarterback, receiver, running back, tight end. I should be good, right? Typically, that's what people think. But again, if it works for you and you've won championships, then don't listen to what I'm saying. But this is typically what common rookie mistakes do. They get a quarterback in the first round. They wait on the running backs. Some guys don't even go running backs. It's really odd. But usually running backs start to slim down. I mean, my RB1 is Joe Mixon. I'm not too happy about that. But I got Mark Andrews at tight end just because I'm filling up every position. Usually I'll go 2-3 RBs just so I know that the RBs do get, you could rotate through them. They get injured a lot faster than any other position on the field. So why not load up on running backs on your first 2-3 round picks? Maybe then go receiver. You can go RB, then receiver, then maybe your QB at 4 or 5. But if unless you have one of the top tight ends like Kelsey or Kittle and they're there, get them. I mean, Kelsey was the best receiver who was not a receiver last season. He was a tight end, and he had better points than any pass catcher out there last
Matt
season.
says sleepers, ADP drives me crazy.
Well, I mean, I think it's more accurate, but hey.
Yeah.
I think it's accurate. I mean, it kind of goes a little crazy, but again.
Oh, no. I think he's saying like sleepers as in like people you pick late in the draft. I think he's saying Adrian Peterson. Like drives you crazy too because he takes your running back's carries away.
Oh, well. Yeah, ADP is not even relevant, so I'm not even realizing what he meant by that. So my bad, Matt. But so again, do as I say, not as I do. Let's see. Wrong decision, QB first. Wrong decision at Michael Thomas because he practically didn't play last season. Definitely wrong pick. I was RB1 Joe Mixon. Why? Because all the running backs were taken. I decided not to go with the running back at first when I should have. So let's see. Again, typical rookie mistake. They load up on their positions right away. I have a QB, I have a receiver, I have a number one, and a number 1. Do I go kicker this soon? Some people actually do, surprisingly. So what am I going to do? I'm going to get the best kicker, right? People technically do that. And I've seen it happen before. And again, do as I say, not as I do. I'm doing, if you came in late, I'm doing everything you shouldn't do. This is basically what rookie mistakes are. So
Team 12 just drafted Justin Fields.
I don't mind that at the 6. I really don't. At the 6th round, I actually don't mind that.
But that's your QB1?
If he ends up in the Niners, and if I believe in him, I don't see why not. People were going Joe Burrow at this point around 6 last season.
I mean, we already had this conversation last year when Justin lost his championship game by going Humphreys. Not Herbert over Jackson.
Yeah. So, yeah. So let's say, give me a team, Mark. Random team.
A team?
Random team. 32 teams.
The Chargers.
Oh, is it because I'm wearing a Chargers?
It could be. I wasn't even looking at you when I was thinking of the team.
Okay. So. Well, that's.
I think it was more because I was talking about Herbert.
Okay. Well, we won't actually do it there, but I was thinking more of the line of who I had, but we'll go with the Chargers. Say I'm a big time Chargers fan. don't load up on all Chargers. Okay. So I'm just gonna pick the next guy I think I see, which typically Deshaun Watson, no, but I'm gonna go with Tyler Lockett. But
that would be a rookie move to get Deshaun Watson.
yes, it would be. It definitely would be. So I'm already doing some mistakes here. So a number one mistake too is another one is look at the bye weeks. I just drafted Tyler Lockett and Michael Thomas. Now, as you see here, I don't know if you can see that, but slightly just on the right of his team, there's a parentheses and it says a 6. And then there's a 6 here on Tyler Lockett. What does that mean in week 6? Week 6, that means I will not actually have my top 2 receivers. You have to pay attention to your bye weeks. So that's one of those things that you just I've done that before. We've all been guilty of it. You just get excited for the guy showing up there and you think that the talent's there. Again, you don't want to get 2 of your guys in the same bye weeks. Here, week 7, I lost my tight end and my kicker at the same time, but that's not the same position, so that's okay. So I'll probably end up needing a backup tight end. But I'm a rookie, right? I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm just teaching you what probably not to do. Again, these are my opinions. You don't have to listen to them, but I mean, again,
highly suggested.
People do it all the time. So now I'm like, what is this? Round 7? I'm like, oh crap. I drafted all these guys. I don't have any running backs. So now I'm left with Kerryon Johnson. Yes. Kenneth Gainwell, we don't know anything about yet. We don't even know where he's going to land, but he's a good high prospected. Le'Veon Bell. This is why I said you want to go heavy running back because typically, well, if you look in the first two rounds, majority of them are all gone. I mean, look at that. Your best one in the 3rd round was Clyde Edwards-Helaire, James Robinson, and I ended up with Joe Mixon. So I'm probably going to go with a Kerryon Johnson. And that's because he's probably the best available according to what I see here as ADP. And then so I got hypothetically my 2 RBs, right? And my 2 receivers. But then I realized maybe I didn't see that they both had bye weeks at the same week. So I'll need another receiver. And then let's go with DJ Chark. Why? Because I'm a such and such Jaguars fan. Now, here's the issue with this. Trevor Lawrence. We all know he's getting drafted tomorrow as a Jaguar. I would say 99.9% he's going to be a Jaguar tomorrow, correct?
Yes.
But
100%.
if for some reason the Jaguars Fields, just say, you know what? Let's go Justin Fields. I don't know. But 99.9, Trevor Lawrence is going to be a Jaguar. So here is my issue. I just fixed my week six receiver, right, with a week 8. However, what is happening week 8? I don't have my receiver who his quarterback is throwing to, or his quarterback is throwing to from his receiver. So if I'm a such and such Jaguar fan, I probably load up on Jaguars. I'm going to go after, well, James Robinson's gone. I'm going to go after probably a backup tight end and probably get their tight end. I don't even know who the hell it is, but I've seen it before. You don't want to load up on the same team. On a redraft league of 15 guys, four players from the same team, that's like pretty much 30% of your squad. That means whichever week, like say I'm using the Jaguars as an example, week 8, 30% of my crew is gone. And I have to somehow manage with the rest of my guys. And it's I see it all the time. So again, do as I say, not as I do. Don't go with all the same team. It's a really bad move because then you're stuck with 4 or 5 guys all in the same bye week. And then I think last year with the pandemic, we had an issue with this. Did we not, Mark? One of the guys had a squad full of Titans, and their game was canceled. So by week 4 or 5, he didn't know what to do. So, all right. So another thing here. So on that round 9. Now, always have your sleepers, like your picks, like you think like your stellar players, right? But be prepared for all these guys that aren't going to be showing up. Like, just be prepared for who you may or may not want. Towards the later rounds, look up their backups, see how the depth chart is, see how deep these guys really go. But another one is, if you're in the 9th round, don't get a defense this early. You don't need it. It's just too early. Defensives usually typically go towards the end. I already got a kicker, so I think I'm good, right? Now, let's see. Trevor Lawrence, first pick. Definitely not a good pick for my first pick. So, but let's go with the backup. And let's see. I see. Why not? I know the name Tom Brady, right? He's been around forever. Let's just go with Tom Brady or Baker Mayfield or even Cam Newton. But if you're going to pick up a backup, do your homework. Know who they're throwing to. So, I mean, that's just how I feel about it. Know their receivers. Obviously, I know Tom Brady has good receivers, good tight end. And David picked a defense. Okay. But yeah. I feel like it's too early for me, and this is just my opinion. I wouldn't go kicker this early either. I'm just grading David's right now. I'm just ragging on him right now. So but it's fine. I mean,
but you didn't even notice me. I picked the defense in the last round.
In the last round, no. I mean, for me, it's too early, man. It really is. I typically don't go 13 and 15. That's usually what I do.
If like one or two of the top defenses are gone, I wait till later. But the top defense was there, so.
Yeah, but then last year we didn't know that the top defense was going to be what Washington, Buccaneers. Who else was pretty good? Like, we didn't know that because the previous year Washington was one of the worst ones. And then they made a couple of moves, and then they were like, third ranked best last season? But none of us knew that. I mean, you and I probably did because of the moves they made. But, I mean, that's just, like I said, this team is definitely, I would not draft this team. Like, I'm just saying that right now. I would not go after this team.
Would.
No,
you would
this
too.
is a horrible draft team. So, yeah, I mean, don't pick the same guys from the same team. Bye weeks will affect you because then you're going to be gone. You're going to be absent out of those 4 guys. Watch your bye weeks. Know who their teammates are. Know who the quarterback's throwing to. Know who his quarterback is if it was a receiver or running back. That does matter. I mean, do some homework on maybe the O-line. See how they do because they're only as good as their O-line, right? So at this point, it's like more of getting backups. I mean, I usually go 4 receivers, 4 running backs, 2 QBs, and 2 defenses. Now, that's just what I do. A lot of people go with 1 defense. I like going with 2, and people might say I'm crazy, but here's one thing that people don't typically think about is the defense is, if you have a quarterback throwing against your own defense, like the points will negate each other because if he throws an interception, like that's depending on your point system, it could be a -6 or a -4. That's going to matter because what if it's a +6 or a +4 on your defensive side? You got to know your points. You got to know how your defense is going to stack up against your QB stats. You don't want to put your own QB against your own defense. That's typically one thing I usually look for. Common thing I normally just I try. This is why I go with 2. That's just to avoid the whole situation. If I see my QB going against my main defense, I'll swap it out. towards the end of the season, you could drop one because they already had their bye week. Like, for instance, if I had the Titans right here at 4, week 4 says week 4. They went on a bye week at week 4. And I think this is going off of last season because there's no week 4 bye week. So I think this is going off of the COVID week, right? When they had the week 4
I feel like David's following your not to do list. He already drafted a kicker too. He drafted a kicker in the 8th round.
Well, hey, I think but it's David. You know he's gonna mess with us somehow. I mean,
yeah, that's
David
true.
won our Dynasty League last season.
That's
so
true.
He knows what he's doing. I think he's just messing with us. But I'm just doing all the wrong things. I've been trying to get the same guys on the same team, but I just cannot.
I wish there was a way to keep this league just so we could see how your team did.
Oh, like later on?
Yeah, I mean, have this go throughout the year. We can keep track of how your don't draft this way team did.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I could kind of save it. I mean, if I could. I mean, it's going to be on YouTube, so I could just look back.
Yeah.
And then plug in the numbers. But we'll see.
I will be every league has one of those guys. It's true.
I'll be shocked if they do really, really good. Especially with Trevor Lawrence.
All right. In my family league last year, I had someone draft Marshawn Lynch.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Dead serious. I was like, Marshawn Lynch isn't even playing.
And yes, Tank said every league has one of those guys. Yep, definitely. But it's something you got to look for. QBs.
You're on the clock, Martin.
Am I? Okay, so QB's first round, typically a big no-no. I just don't like doing it.
No, I agree.
So let's see.
Even drafting the right way can backfire, especially when I had my first 2 picks last year were Barkley and Thomas of the Saints.
Barkley and yeah. Nah,
you got more punches on teammates than you did touchdowns last year.
Yeah, so I went with another running back. Again, these running backs I have is just really bad. I'm not a big fan of Joe Mixon. Other people might be like, oh, yeah, he's all right. He's still good. He's still got a chance. I lost hope on him. This is his last year for any type of light for him.
You drafted Michael Thomas, too. Good luck.
Was that?
Said you drafted Michael Thomas, too. Good luck.
Michael Thomas?
Yeah, you drafted him with your second pick.
Why? Yeah, do as they say, not as they do.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, that's what I'm saying. When I picked him, like he was, he went first round in some leagues.
Good Lord, your freaking running backs do suck.
Well, hey, like I said, that's because I waited.
I think all 4 running backs are better than your top running back.
I'm just doing what a typical rookie would have done in a scenario.
I understand. I get it.
So let's see.
Ooh, we got Zach Wilson.
Got my kicker at the 5th round. Also too early. Defense at 9. Unless you're really strong and confident like Mark is with his Washington football team at 9. I think that might be a slight pick or two too early. I like to go later. I want to get my money makers first. Definitely running backs and receivers are your money makers. But I mean, some guys even go 1 QB, which is fine. But here's the issue with the 1 QB. If you go with 1 QB, that's fine. He better be really good. And then you better hope you have a decent QB on that bye week.
Yeah,
and you better hope that he doesn't get injured. I like going with 2 at the draft to get someone decent, because if the matchups are pretty good, you can switch between them too. Like, obviously everyone wanted to play the Falcons, guys. Like, if you were playing the Falcons that week, you would put all of your guys against them. Why? Because the DBs sucked. So if you had that matchup, you would put all your players against that team and they would all do good. But that's just typically what I would suggest. We play Dynasty. This is like now kind of easy for us now. in my opinion. But let's see, what do I got? 1, 2, 3 receivers, right? 3 receivers, 3 running backs.
You should get 2 defenses and 2 kickers because this is what not to do.
Well, I would hope that they wouldn't do that. I would hope that they wouldn't do that. I have let's go with another running back here. But let's Jesus, God, these running backs blow. I'm just gonna take Ramondre Stevenson. But I mean that's a rookie. Again, don't typically lean too high on rookies. You don't know exactly where their role is going to be. You don't know how well they're going to do. They could be potential busts. But if you feel strong about them, I've been known to take a rookie in later rounds, and this is fine. Your last couple rounds, why not? But that's just me. I think last year I was really high on Jalen Reagor, and that was a complete bomb fest. He was supposed to do good. He didn't do good. I actually dropped him eventually, but I mean, that's just typically what you wouldn't do, especially redraft leagues. Dynasty's different. Dynasty, you really want your rookies. That's because you look for the foreseeable future, not just that year. Redraft leagues like this, a standard league, you just do that year. So, what do you got? Did you went with Yo? Yep, you did. What? Always go with Koo. Koo is your boy, man. Koo is your boy. I think ever since that year I dropped him, you just picked him up and he's been rolling with him.
Last year, but yeah.
Well, it was like earlier in the year. I had to do it because he was injured and I needed a kicker.
Up because mine was on bye, or I think my kicker wasn't doing anything. So I was like, I'll pick this guy up. And he just
Which I got lucky. Ended up with Jason Sanders.
I know. But then I picked him up and he just went off. And I was like, all right, I'll just keep you as my kicker. That's funny. Racking in the points.
All right, so
any of these choices.
This is so whack. I think I'll go back up tight end. I think I'll just get it back up tight end. But yeah, I mean, like I said, but the number one rule though, and this goes with everybody, especially if you're the first pick. Okay. The number one rule not to do is show up to your draft late.
Oh, yeah.
Because then you're putting everyone at hold. And then if you just don't show up at all, then we'll just auto draft you.
Not to mention I don't mind being auto drafted in the later rounds, but I hate my first couple rounds being auto drafted.
Yeah, because auto draft
I'm gonna get stuck with somebody I don't want.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said,
wow, Matthew Stafford
QB's first round
drafted.
Not good. Was that?
Matthew Stafford didn't even get drafted.
I'm surprised. I think he's going to do really good this season. So I typically want to go running back your very first your 1 or year 2, unless the receiver is really, really good. I'm sorry for all you Michael Thomas truthers last season. That was unfortunate, but
yeah,
that happens. Like I said, I usually go running back first round, second round. I mean, I'll go usually running back. I mean, that's just because I could swap them out, and put one in the flex. But looks like I have basically everything. I'm just gonna go with tight end, back it up. So yeah, there it is. And then typically your defense is last. And I usually go defense. Typically I go running back, receiver, running back, receiver. But this is usually what I wouldn't suggest doing: a quarterback in the first round, the receiver in the second round. I'm missing out on all these running backs. Like, look at my third running back. I waited to the third round and I got Joe Mixon. That's probably something you don't want to do. You don't want to load up on the same team either, because they're going to be gone on the same week. Such as I have DJ Chark and Trevor Lawrence. They're going to be gone the same week. I have Mark Andrews and Justin Tucker. They're going to be gone the same week. So now I have to find another tight end, find another kicker. Rather than if I had different bye weeks, I would just have to swap out maybe one of my defenses. And this is why I like having two defenses. I'll get to that. Swap out one of your guys for a kicker. Having two defenses, if you lean on your best one, you could just drop one without dropping an actual player and then get like that one position that you actually need. Last season, I had CMC gone. I had Dak Prescott gone. And then that was my main two guys that were giving me my main points at the beginning of the season. So it's interesting how injuries affect your team. But if you're new, I wouldn't suggest getting your favorite team or a quarterback your first 2 rounds, unless it may be Patrick Mahomes. But even then, I still think that's risky in my opinion.
I mean, unless your favorite team is like the Titans and you want to get Derrick Henry.
Yeah, but that's your first round, though, and that's fine.
Oh.
That's fine in your first round. But, of course, Derrick Henry's going to be gone in the first 5 picks, so you're not going to get Derrick Henry. But
that is a good point that you bring up, though.
What?
Well, you're like, because like even though a lot of times quarterbacks do end up getting more points, it's the difference, like the amount of points for the tiers of quarterbacks. Like I feel like, yeah, sure, Patrick Mahomes lights it up, but there's like 5 or 6 other quarterbacks that can probably get close to what he does. Whereas running backs, after the top like 5, 6, 7, 8, you're big time.
It's really hard.
And because of that, it's much more beneficial to get running backs early, because like it's easier to get even if you get a quarterback that scores 5, 6 less points a game than Mahomes, you can still find that easier. Like we said, Matthew Stafford didn't even get drafted.
Right. I mean, Justin Fields went at picks. Assuming he went to the 49ers.
Yeah, and he could easily be a starting quarterback in fantasy. Whereas, like you said, after the second round, you got Joe Mixon.
Yeah, and it was difficult. Like I realized that everyone in my league chose a running back, and then I got stuck with Joe Mixon.
Yeah.
So,
like even though like some people try to justify it as like, oh, well, the quarterback scores more points. I'm like, yeah,
they do, but
you're gonna get nothing from your running back. So you better hope that quarterback scores a crap ton of points.
Yeah, and then backups, like a lot of people go with 1 QBs. One tight ends, one defense.
Top QB and mid-level QB are closer in points than a top running back to a mid-level running back.
But again, they all have bye weeks too, so you got to keep that in mind. That's going to be the bye week where you are going to struggle. So, and then if you don't pay attention to the bye weeks, like say you get a quarterback and just one quarterback, right, and his bye week is week 9. Well, I'm sorry, buddy, but week 9, that's crunch time. You need to win all your games from that point on. I don't have time to have some scrub as my QB at week 9. Right. This is why I usually get another QB, mid-round, not like towards the late, but towards mid-round. And that's just the way I do it. So, do's and don'ts. But that's just me. Let's see. Tank said, the top QB and mid-level QB are closer in points than top RB to mid-level RB. So
that's basically what I was saying.
Yeah.
Just explained it a little bit better.
Yeah, but no, but it makes sense though. And then that's just the thing. Like you don't want to load up on the same team either. So
I definitely don't want to do that.
Yeah, because it's going to be the same.
I also just realized something. Being in Dynasty, man, we are at the people who make the schedules mercy.
Oh man.
You imagine if like,
I am waiting for this schedule to come out. As soon as this schedule comes out, I just guarantee
about that right now.
People are going to have to trade. People are going to have to trade or cut some guys that they really don't want to cut. I'm a little worried about that. Let's see. Tank says I I usually run with one QB. Then a week or two before bye, I get my replacement, then drop when I'm done with him. And that's okay. But at that point, like, if it's week 1 or 2, hopefully you get someone like a top tier guy who's like
That's just a
maybe
risky gamble, in my
19.
opinion, because like, what happens if your starting quarterback gets hurt?
Right.
And then you're like, I don't even have anyone on my roster.
This is why I like drafting mid-round. But again, people have their ways. Again, you don't have to listen to me. You don't have to take my opinions. You could think I'm an idiot, and that's fine. Leave it down in the comment. I don't like the way you draft. It's cool. But it's fine. This is just, look, I don't fall under 5, and I have proof. Mark, you've seen me do it multiple years. I don't go in the bottom tier. Like, that's just the way it is.
If I ran with Watson all in playoffs like I did all season, I would have won. Now that sounds like a personal problem.
I will never hear the end of that. He brings that up to me and Fredo all the time. Yes, Tank.
That's just like Martin going, if I had put Jalen Hurts in instead of Derek Carr, I would have won.
So that's our draft. I'll leave it up for a little bit. But yeah, thanks to Aaron and David for joining us in this.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate it.
Mock draft. It kind of gives them a little perspective of what an actual player does. I think David was just kind of whatevering. That's usually not how he drafts. And if he does draft that way, then maybe I haven't noticed. But David's not bad. He usually makes it. He's not a bad.
What quarterback did you tell Tank to pick up?
What?
He goes, haha, Martin said pick up this QB. I don't even remember who. Who'd you tell?
Who was it? Philip Rivers.
Oh, was
I
it
think
Philip Rivers?
It was 3 of them, and I remember saying this. It was like week 8, week 9, or 10. I said Philip Rivers, Daniel Jones, and Derek Carr. Of those 3, Daniel Jones had a very good season-ending, like the last 3 games, last 4 games or something like that, were a pretty good, easy schedule. Derek Carr had a pretty easy schedule, and also Philip Rivers had a pretty easy schedule. Philip Rivers was probably the number 1 QB I would have went after on waivers because the Colts were just destroying everyone in their way. And he wasn't doing that bad. Even though it's Philip Rivers, we're not used to him like putting up stellar numbers, but he was doing okay. He was getting you at least a minimum of 26 to 30 points, depending on your point format as well. So that's how I saw it. But yeah, so that's our mock draft. This is a draft before the rookie draft that is waiting. Everyone's waiting for. I'm anticipating this. Oh, dude, it is such a long wait. I had no combine, so I was bored out of my mind trying to.
I'm also super excited for the draft to happen, so we can do a mock draft with defensive players instead of just defense.
So once IDP,
that's a whole nother can of worms right there.
Yeah, we haven't even like given out IDP yet. Like individual defensive players changes fantasy so much. But because Sleeper doesn't update, like most formats don't update until after the draft, so it's easier for them. They have the offensive, yes, obviously T-Law's up there. But Justin Field is also up there. Who else? Michael Carter's up in there. But defense, it's a little bit harder to determine where they at because defense, well, it's a little less projected on fantasy football because mainly it's offense. So not a lot of people do individual defense. They're not special like us, I guess. Not special in a good way. I meant like in a bad way, but I mean, some people just don't like it. Some people.
Hank says, was it? I don't think it was any of them. I don't know. It was a random guy who had one awesome week at the end. He doesn't think it was any of them.
I can't remember. I might have to look. We might have to look back. The only thing I could remember towards the argument we had was Deshaun Watson or Josh Allen. Like I said, Josh Allen had a.
I'm definitely taking Josh Allen over Deshaun Watson.
Well, yeah. I mean, we don't even know if Deshaun Watson's going to play tomorrow. So,
someone said, "How often can you change your team players?" I mean, honestly, you can replace them every week.
Yeah, like I've seen people do changes all the time. Didn't you say someone in your other league had practically a new team each week?
Oh yeah, that was Braden. That was like his
Yeah,
strategy.
he dropped 4 or 5 guys or something, and then picked up 4
Yeah.
or 5 guys. So
I mean, he kept his main core pretty much the same, but like he had like the back end with like the flex and like maybe a receiver every once in a while where he'd be like, "Well, you're sucking. I'm gonna bench you, but I'm gonna pick up like 4 other players and put them in." So he
right,
would bench his main guys, but in these random guys he'd pick up.
because they had like good matchups that week, or just
Yeah,
what?
like he did a lot of research and stuff, so he was like, "I'm gonna pick this guy up."
I
He's
mean, if that's
splendid.
your strategy, but for me, like, so another thing, week 1, a lot of people start dropping people like crazy
Oh, I know.
because, like, for instance, everyone went after Naeem Himes week 1. Okay.
Yep.
And what did he do after that? Nothing.
Yep.
Until like week 6, 7, or something like that.
And all those people felt silly when Marlon Mack got hurt.
Oh yeah, definitely. But it happens. Injuries happen. If your guys just don't produce, be patient. That's just the way I do it. I wait at least 3 weeks, 4 weeks before dropping a guy. I think the longest I held on to a guy was almost the whole season. That was Marquise
Holy
Brown.
crap.
What's up?
Take says some leagues have a transaction fee. In my league, one guy has 70 plus each year. Holy crap.
Yeah.
That'd be Braden.
Yeah. So I guess I got to Bon Quiqui. Depending on how your league settings are, some have auctions where you have a certain amount of money, but then you can only spend so much because you can't have like a waiver. So the way I like to play is reversed order waivers. Waivers is if the loser, the worst team, has first pick of the free agency. Free agency is guys that are just out here. Nobody has.
Like
You
they're
have
on
your
no
team.
teams.
Yeah, the worst guy who has the worst scored links has the first pick. Now, if they make that claim, they have to swap out one of their guys for that guy, and then they're in their roster. But then after that, Thursday, typically it's 2 days later, they can make a move. Someone else, that guy that you just dropped, they can make a move for that same guy, and then he'll be on their squad Saturday morning. So that happens. You got to be smart with who you let go. But I mean, again, if you've been doing fantasy, you know what I'm talking about. If you're new, I mean, that's a good question, man. Like, how often can you do it? Depending on your.
That is a good question.
Some leagues, they do reverse order, but they have a limitation of how many moves. Like Tank was saying, how many moves you have. If you use, this is the one I'm not too fond of, but once you use that waiver claim, you get moved up to the top. And then you stay at the top until someone uses that waiver claim, and then it's a constant like rotation, and this can go on for weeks. But there's only like what's that?
I said I don't like that. I don't like that way either.
I don't like it either. But what makes it fair is that there's a limit to how many waiver claims you could do a year. There's only like 15. Like if you could only do like 15 a year, that's where that would be. That would make sense because you don't want to have some guy make a waiver claim every year or every week, and then he ran out of waiver claims towards the end of the season. So that's just how I visually see it. I don't like it, but people have different ways of doing it. So yeah, I drafted a horrible team. I do not like it. But that's
I think you got a winner, man.
No, that is definitely not what you want to do, especially with Trevor Lawrence at number 1. You don't even know if he's gonna do good. We expect great things from him. I look forward to his career. I think he's gonna do good. I just don't know yet. We have to see it first. We have to see their connection between him and his receivers and his linemen. I mean, they were one of the worst teams last season. One guy's gonna change it? No, I don't think so. It's gonna take like 2-3 years before the Jaguars.
He also has a college coach for a head coach, and those don't usually turn out too well in the NFL.
I'm excited to see them. I'm excited for tomorrow.
I think Urban Meyer will succeed, though.
I hope so.
I
wish the best for the Jags. I know they've been sucking for years. Let's give them the best. All right. So if you stuck around, awesome. I have a. So if you looked at our linebackers week,
episode,
yes, our episode of linebackers. God, that was so long ago. We have a Terry Tate. So there is now a Terry Tate video involving the draft. The draft is tomorrow. The draft is one of the most exciting things in the NFL because we all love the draft. You get new toys, new weapons, and we see new talent go to places and change their teams up forever. So here I have Terry Tate coming up with the NFL draft. Let me just get this started and enjoy.
It's not on the screen.
I know. It's loading.
Oh, okay. I just wasn't sure.
Oh, yeah.
You're like,
Relax,
and
brother.
enjoy, and there nothing happens. So.
Relax, brother.
There we go.
All right.
40 minutes.
No. That's no. That's not no.
And with the third pick in the draft, Felcher and Sons selects Courtney Kate, linebacker.
It's not that we think Terry's lost a step. Far from it. We simply took the best athlete available at our position in the draft.
Terry who? Look, man, I ain't playing the name game up in here. There's a reason why Mr. Felcher chose me in the first round. I'm an impact player.
Do I look worried to you? Man, ain't nobody downsizing this. I'm done when I say I'm done.
Besides, a little healthy competition in the workplace never hurt anybody.
Woo! You get a meal, baby! Woo!
To be honest, there was a bit of a learning curve before Terry and Courtney were fully able to appreciate their working relationship.
I'll knock your ass out all day!
Where's your food truck, baby?
But after some initial friction,
I'll play the
Terry and Courtney were able to find a mutual, results-based respect.
Holy damn, Ronald! You know this key belongs to a reception. The restroom's a privilege, not a right, punk.
Nice play, baby.
But once Terry and Courtney realized we're all on the same team here at Felcher and Sons, everything gelled. And it's true what they say. There's only one thing better than having a linebacker in your office, and that's having two linebackers in your office.
Holy crap.
That's what I'm talking about.
Sadly, due to recent
like
salary
wrestling
cap
moves,
restrictions imposed by the league, we could only keep one of our office linebackers. And though Courtney certainly showed the raw talent for the position, well, let's just say mistakes were made.
Oh, Timmy! You can't come up in here dressed like that, son! This ain't Club Med, baby!
But it's Casual Friday.
What's up, y'all? Damn!
So we reassigned Courtney to Felcher and Sons Europe, where he'll get more playing time to improve his skill set.
Guten Morgen, Gunther.
Guten Morgen, Helga.
His wiener just flew in the air.
The one thing we did learn through this process, however, is that there's only one Terry Tate, and we're lucky to have him.
Hey, John, how are you, huh? That ain't your cake, Philip. That's Simone's cake. You eat someone else's cake again, and I'm going to give you a slice of Terry's special pain cake. And you won't for seconds of that.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yep. So that's Terry Tate, office linebackers. There's the draft edition of that one with Courtney Tate. But yeah.
Tank goes, LOL, I don't remember this one.
Yeah. So that's do's and don'ts of fantasy football. We only did that because, well, we've been talking about rookies for the last couple of weeks. Figured change it up, do a regular draft, and then we'll
why talk about the rookies the day before the draft?
What's that?
I said, why talk about the rookies the day before the draft?
Because everybody should be informed of what's going on tomorrow.
I was just kidding.
We've been talking about rookies for the last month or so, man. But I want to do it just so
that second half of that Senior Bowl, man,
next week
or
next draft, which I think we'll probably redo this draft again with everything settles in July. But I can't wait till the IDP one. Steven says the Washington football guys. All right. Well, I guess we could end it on that. But yeah, next week. Oh man, I can't even remember what we're doing next week. I think we're doing. Oh, we're gonna do draft recap, and then we'll have the IDP mock draft here soon. When everything gets established with that. So as of now, that's what we have for today's show. And you're 62 LT fan. Hey man, it's LT. He's the man. Last say Sunday we have, or tomorrow, I guess we're part. Well, since another thing, we are part of the crew of the Did We Just Become Best Friends. They have we have a show pretty much every day of the week except for Fridays and Saturdays. That is our schedule. But Sunday they're going to do the morning spike. Tomorrow's pop culture. They just talk about whatever the heck they want, anything about pop culture. And we are on Thursdays, so Sunday should be interesting because they'll be talking about the actual draft. So, and see where they actually land. So that should be fun. So anyways, that's our show. Anything you got, man, before we head out, dude?
Nope. Just looking forward to tomorrow. Finally seeing where
I am excited.
All these people go.
Right. I'm kind of excited for defense.
Well, I guess and Friday and Saturday and Sunday.
Lucky. I will not be able to see that, but tomorrow's draft watch. Oh my gosh, I completely forgot. Yeah, so Tank is doing a live draft watch party.
I thought that's what we were doing.
I'm still on the fence about that. But I probably if Justin Fields goes third overall, I will be there just to make fun of Brian. And yep. Okay, so yeah, that's the pub. Oh, so he's moving his pop culture show to Friday.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay. Usually they do it on Thursdays. But yeah, if Justin Fields goes third overall, which apparently like the news saying they're like, oh yeah, it's going to be Trey Lance or Mac Jones. Cool. But I still don't see it. What do we got? We got more comments going on.
Great stuff, guys. Can't wait for the draft tomorrow. Hopefully we see. I'm more excited where Gregory Russo goes and Micah Parsons. Those guys are stellar on defense, and I really can't wait to see where they go. So that is it. Good morning, good night, good evening, wherever the hell you're at. This is the Dynasty Pylon Show. That is Mark. I am Martin. Yep. And till next
see you next week. Later.
Getting hyped when I aim up, elevating that game up, stepping up to the competition. Only first place, so that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. When I watch me elevate. was born and when I watch me elevate.